Hello and welcome to this video. We shall be looking at the Occupational Standards, that is the OS, which is a document that usually specifies the knowledge, skills, and attitudes required for effective workplace performance. Remember, currently with the competency-based curriculum, CBC, the training is usually focused on producing an individual is ready for the industry or the market. So that's why training is usually tied to the industry. That's why now you have the occupational standards now to produce an individual who is knowledgeable, having skills and the right attitudes for the particular industry. So it's also very important document when you are preparing a learning plan. Yeah, because you need to use some of these sections like the elements and the performance criteria. So let's look at how is it structured, the structure of the OS. And we have the unit of competence. For this example is demonstrate occupational safety and health practices. And you have the unit code. This one you use them when making a learning plan. Like we discussed in the learning plan, for instance, in this example, you see the unit of competence. You get it directly from the OS, demonstrate occupational safety and health practices, and this is the unit code. You get it from the OS. So you have unit description. Yeah, you describe the unit. This unit specifies the competencies required to lead the implementation of workplaces safety and health program, procedures, and policies or guidelines. So this is the unit description. This unit description now is whereby you are seeing in the learning plan. Yeah, it comes on the part of the skill or job task. Yeah, you reference or you look at the unit description so that you can come up with the job task or the skill. Yeah, there was this guideline that you get the job task from the unit description in the OS. Yeah, for example, for this case, you see for this learning plan, the job task is lead implementation of workplace safety and health program. So the unit specifies the competence required to and you are told that in stating the skill or job task, we pick the description where the description start, in this case, start from the verb lead. Yeah, if you look at this, requires the competencies required to lead implementation. So that is where you get your job task, lead. This being the verb, where the verb starts, lead the implementation of workplace safety and health program. That is where now you get what? The job task that you write on the learning plan. So this is a very important section, the unit description. Then you go to elements and performance criteria. And you say that element describe the key outcomes which make up the workplace function. So element is the key outcome. And then you have performance criteria. These are accessible statements which specify the required level of performance for each element. So for each element, there will be corresponding performance criteria which specifies the required level of performance. Okay, and we said that when making a learning plan, on the part of the that is the benchmark or the criteria to be used, usually we write the element, yeah, the element, then these others now below them you have the performance criteria, because the performance criteria is specifying the required level of performance for each of the element. So you see, you have the element and the element and the performance criteria for each of the element. And we do that the bold and italicized terms are elaborated in the range. Yeah. So like this hazard is bolded, you get more elaboration on the range part down there. You shall look at it. as we continue. So these bolded and italicized words, you'll get them elaborated on the range part. So that is for the elements and the performance criteria. We can have many elements, and for each element there will be performance criteria. Yeah, like you have three. In this case, you have three of them. And when making now the learning plan, you can pick like this element will be discussed either in a session, or you can have a session where you can even have one depending on the time or the allocated time for the session. Okay, remember, learning plan is usually is the basis to create the session plan. Okay, yeah. So that is it. You see the part of the OS is the elements and the performance criteria. Then you go to the range. We see that every bolded and italicized word, you'll get them on the range. And the range, we see that this section provides work environment and conditions to which the performance criteria apply. It allows for different work environments and situations that will affect performance. So this one provides the work environment and condition to which the performance criteria apply. So for the range, we have the variable, then the range. The variable, like for example, this one hazards may include but not limited to. Then the range, now you have physical hazards, biological hazards, chemical hazards. So remember, OS usually have as a range. Okay, range indicators may include but not limited to all those. So after the range, you see this one has a lot of variables on the range, because also there was a lot of brooding and the performance criteria. Okay, after you're done with the range, another part of section of the OS is the required skills and knowledge, and this section describes the skills and knowledge required for this unit of competence. So for the required skills for this particular unit of competence, yeah, the individuals need to demonstrate following skills: knowledge management, critical thinking skills, observational skills, interpersonal skills, presentation skills, training skills. All those are the required skills. Then the required knowledge, the individuals need to demonstrate the knowledge of general occupational safety health principles, occupational hazards, national regulations, general. So all these are the knowledge that the individual needs to demonstrate. Then you have evidence guide, or what we call the assessment guide. It's another section of the OS, and this section provides advice on assessment and must be read in conjunction with performance criteria, required skills and knowledge, and range. So this evidence guide or assessment guide, yeah, provide advice on assessment. Okay, well, now you assess now these competencies. For this example, critical aspect of competency assessment requires evidence that the candidate identifies that. So that means it's an assessment guide. Resource implications, ensure that you include them, like the following resources that should be provided, and guidance for information assessment. So this one is usually the last part of the last session of the OS, the evidence guide. Yeah. So generally, that is how the OS should be, and it should be structured. Ensure that it has those sections. Yeah, the unit of competence, unit code, unit description, elements, and performance criteria. This one is the key, because this is where we get learning outcomes when we are preparing the learning plans and decision plans. Yeah, so very important occupational standards. And from this occupational standard is where you got this example for the learning plan. Because as I said, you can see that you get the unit of competence from the OS and also the unit code. Then This job task, you said that you get them from unit description. Yeah. Then for the criteria, the first thing you write is the element. Then below them you have the various performance criteria which you get from the OS. Yeah. So the OS is just the reference or the basis where which you create our learning plan. And then from when you have a learning plan, we can go further now to create a session plan, which will get most of the information from the learning plan. Okay. That is it for the OS. Next video, you may look at the curriculum. How is it different from the occupational standard? Okay, thank you.